What's up, world? It's MBB World, and I'm here with
Seville Jenkins.
Ferrari Scoom.
D-Ball Thiago, man.
All right, man. We got a lot of questions. We got a lot of things to go over, man. Y'all ready for this, man? We about to go through some shit. So, before we get into it, is there anybody want y'all shout out on the podcast, anything like that y'all want to show love to? Anybody that you've been seeing upstate or just around the world that y'all been saying, damn, they're putting on too?
I want to give a shout out to 50 Cent.
Yep.
I want to give a shout out to Tony Yayo. I want to give a shout out to God.
Amen.
Give a shout out to the Most High. Give a shout out to
MBB. Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to God, man, and I want to give out to Baby Trench, man. Check him out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it, man. So I ain't gonna lie. I want to get y'all viewpoint. Upstate versus downstate. What's your opinions on that? And like, how are we looking at that?
So upstate, I think upstate's bigger than downstate New York.
Yeah. I don't even know what's downstate. I'll be honest. What's downstate? Like, realistically, I'm not trying to,
All right, so the comparison is what I did on Facebook was I made a post about downstate New York City compared to upstate. When I was going to school, Catskill school, a lot of people will compare New York City to upstate.
Oh, yeah. Now, there's a lot of comparison on that. I think that's a hard comparison. I feel like we're all New York. But yeah, people do look at that split. Even New York City is looking at it like, yo, if you're upstate, you're not New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so what's like your guys' viewpoint on that? Like,
well, because it's New York. New York is big, but I just feel like upstate is just way bigger. It's more business opportunity. There's more space to make business.
Yeah, people that are missing opportunities in New York City often travel upstate to try to get new opportunity. If you notice too, it's a lot of money upstate. You feel what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of different demographics. It's not just like the city in a sense where it's like everything is so enclosed. There's a lot of more money opportunities outside of just like the demographic that you'll see in New York City. So that's where I agree with you on. Right.
When I was a kid growing up in Catskill High School, a lot of people would. When I say compare yourself to New York City, it just seemed like everybody wanted to say they're from New York City and wouldn't say,
that's true.
Want to say they're from upstate.
It's true. And then even upstate, as people born in like Schenectady, Rotterdam, Colony, Niskuna, they get asked where they're from. They say Albany. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's it. Right. So it's like me, I'm born and raised in Schenectady. I love to promote that. I got a space out in Schenectady. I went to school in Schenectady. I started my business in Schenectady. So like I'm very much proud of being upstate, but I notice a lot of people aren't. Not that they aren't proud of upstate in general, but they're not proud to rep what they're from. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of people like to sound good. So like, what is your opinion on that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like upstate, but comparing.
Can I say something?
Comparing rappers.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, so I just got here about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm from Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
So where would I was in Hartford for about 13 years.
Yes.
So where would I say I'm from?
I feel like so when you've been at certain places for a long amount of time, I feel like it's where your home resides to you. You feel what I'm saying? So like it's like picking one. Now if you say, sometimes I'll explain too, like, yo, I've traveled, like I went to school, I went to college in Oneonta, right? So I say I got ties in Oneonta, but I rep upstate as far as Schenectady. You feel what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with having ties in different spaces. Yeah. I think it's where you feel most accepted, where you feel like you put your stomping grounds in the most and that you want to rep is what you should jack. You feel me? It's like, go ahead.
I was younger when I was in Hartford.
Yeah.
I was real younger and it was a lot of step family out there and I learned a lot out there.
Yeah.
So I feel like I could rep that a lot more.
For sure.
So when anybody asks me, I tell them that. Yeah. I've been out there this many years. I've been out here this many years.
And I think that's a perfect explanation.
Don't know what to say.
Man, my stomping ground and where I started is Hartford, you said?
Yeah.
But now I'm in wherever I'm at now. I'm in upstate New York as far as, but like I got my start in Hartford. That's how I would kind of explain it. Like, so say I travel to Miami, I start living in Miami. I'll tell them I'm from Schenectady, but at the end of the day, right now I'm residing in Miami. So I think there's nothing wrong with having multiple places that you're from. Oh, word?
Yeah, he brought me down there to Miami.
Oh wow! See, that's how energy work. You feel what I'm saying?
It's crazy because I'm from the Bronx, and I don't like rep it crazy.
Yeah,
I say I was born there. I was.
Exactly.
But I don't know it well enough to say that I grew up upstate New York, Catskill,
and you're making waves here. So like at the end of the day, this is what I'm repping. But I was born in. You know what I'm trying to say? And I think there's nothing wrong with explanation, but I feel like a lot of people, you know, try to paint a certain narrative rather than living the truth. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so the explanation y'all just gave, perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's people that never been in Albany, but they go down to the city. When they say, oh, what part of upstate? Oh, I'm Albany. Why are you doing that? Like, be yourself. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so.
Your honest opinion. I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Which one do you think is more lucrative, downstate New York or upstate New York?
I would say
not living as far as making money.
I would say so. They both got pros and cons. You feel what I'm saying? Downstate definitely has a lot more, like when it comes to population of people doing the same stuff. But in that, when there's a population of people doing the same stuff, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of like competition. So sometimes it could be less money because now you have to compete with. All right, if you have a big platform downstate, and everybody's like, oh, I'm 5 minutes away from there, I could do that rather than just come and messing with your new platform. That's where the money kind of starts to kind of deplete a little bit. But now upstate, if you're big on starting your own wave, if you're big on creating your own opportunities and you know how to market, you know how to network, and you know how to build, it's way more money. There's way more opportunity. There's a lot of, I would say 3-5 years ago, there wasn't as many artists showcased. There wasn't as many like opportunities for the artists. So I personally came in, and when I started doing shows and stuff like that, and I started building with artists, I knew there wasn't that demographic. So I had to teach a lot of people how to do a cameo video, how to promote, right? But in doing that, there was more opportunity to make money because it was looked at, the perspective was, this is a real opportunity. Downstate, if you're trying to start something, people look at it as, it's not, you feel what I'm saying? They could just brush it off because they feel like they got access to the biggest thing, but nobody wants to build with you. So I feel like opportunity-wise, it's more money upstate. There's more population in downstate, but that sometimes gets oversaturated, overcrowded. Everybody's songs sound the same downstate. You feel what I'm saying? Even like the drill wave is very much, artist A to artist B. There's no similar. There's all different. Like there's no difference. It's mad similar. And just because they see the same stuff, they're around the same energy. So I feel like there's more money upstate. There's more opportunities upstate too.
I think so, definitely too. I think so, too.
Yeah, it's like I know rappers from New York City that rather come up here. Make music videos.
Yeah, we have our thing's called
they look around like, I can't believe you guys don't want to record.
Yeah, well, I had this one girl
over here, like,
for real though. Yeah. I had this back in the day when we used to be in Catskill, probably 7 years ago. I mean, it's 9 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah,
but. There was this one girl that came from New York City. I brought her to my house, and it was my apartment. It was housing, and I was in an apartment, and she came up, and she was like, "Oh, y'all got condos out here. These are condos." I was like, nah, this housing.
Exactly.
I let her know I'm in housing, but I guess our housing looks better than New York City.
Well, because we're upstate, it's like more rural areas too, in a sense too. So like it's a demographic where if you go downstate, they'll try to put 800 people in a 30,000 square foot building. You might only see 18 apartments in a 30,000 square foot apartment. Right. So it's just like the difference of culture. It's a difference of like what we see out here. And because there's like 10 times the amount of people in downstate, in a sense, it's everyone smushed in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is why everything is raising in pricing, right? Raising it. So we're talking about money opportunities. Downstate, everyone's traveling upstate right now. You know what I'm saying? Before, everyone wanted to jack the city, everyone wanted to jack downstate, right? But it's getting to the point where everyone's kind of traveling up. At first, it was only a certain demographic that would travel up. Like if you were downstate and kind of quote unquote got ran out of downstate, or like there wasn't money opportunities, you would come upstate because you had family here. And now it's like they're seeing that the opportunity resides here, so they have to travel here. So we had a New York City artist 3 weeks ago. It's called The Voice Upstate, right? Our platform. We had New York City artists travel here 2.5 hours, right? Usually it used to be vice versa. Upstate used to travel to the city or try to go find these other outside opportunities. But now with social media and them seeing the new space, a lot of people are coming from downstate to upstate because they want those opportunities, right? So people now, like you said, people shoot music videos out here and be like, yo, y'all got to shoot more videos out here. But it's because it's new scenery, right? It's things that you'll never see in the city.
It's like the opposite. Like,
yes,
you feel the same way down there as they do up here.
Exactly.
They see the same thing every day. So when they get a little a breath of fresh air,
yes, yes,
you know, that they see a couple cows and shit like that.
Yeah, and now they feel like it's different.
I don't think they understand how important the capital is, though. Yeah, because we have the empire built in there. All the paperwork, when people go to prison, the paperwork has to go to Albany.
Yeah, it has to go to. So that's what confused me when people try to act like Albany and upstate is in New York.
And I have nothing against the city. I love the city. I love people from the city. It's just when it comes to comparison, it's really not a comparison.
No.
When it comes to space,
it should be unison, right? At the end of the day, we all have different things, and it's like, so I think the problem before Upstate that I personally been trying to change, and I noticed like we just said off camera too, like people will copy waves and stuff like that, right? So I was like this, I made a wave that even if people copied, it only benefits Upstate. I literally have a multi-purpose content space, right? So the problem with Upstate is that we would all look at that we're getting compared to instead of doing something about it, right? So like all of us would be like, dang, or like we're going out of town, we're going to the city, But now like we finally are having opportunities that we can have Upstate that we don't have to go out of town. We don't have to go to a multi-purpose content space in New York City. We could do it Upstate, which is causing more people to want to come Upstate, right? I knew that when we built this, it was going to be a lot of like hard work and stuff like that, but it was going to be worth it because there's not this out here, right? So now it's like we're building opportunities that now people are kind of catching wave. And now I'm seeing more multi-purpose content spaces being made, which is perfect. The more we have that, like I'd compete with me, I don't really mind because at the end of the day, I'm me, right? God made me a certain way to have a certain work ethic. So at the end of the day, when we have more of that, now more people want to travel here, which circulates a better ecosystem. We make more money out here.
Right.
Now everybody, look, now we'll have 10 to 15 artists perform every Thursday just because they know that they can now, compared to like, yo, it used to be hard to find a show. You know what I'm saying? Or people, now it's every Thursday. What you want to do, right? And that's why they're growing. The first one to the fifth one that you guys were part of too, and your artist was doing fire.
Algorithm.
Yeah, exactly. And it only grows.
Your own algorithm mixed in with the algorithm that I see. It's smart.
It's just coinciding. So now there's already a lane, and now we're creating our own niche inside of that lane, and now people are funneling into it. As long as we give our good service and we continue to put on the artists, content creators, entrepreneurs that are in it, it's gonna thrive, right? But sometimes the problem with Upstate too is nobody sat back and said, all right, like I made music, I've done interviews, I've done content creation, I went viral from mad different stuff, right? And what made me step back from trying to be in the limelight and saying, all right, I'm gonna cultivate like a niche, was that I was like, yo, I ain't gonna be nothing if people don't care about Upstate.
Right.
Like I'm be as viral as I want. I rep Upstate, right? So if I'm as viral as I want and I go to other places and say, yo, I'm from Upstate, and Upstate, it ain't gonna matter, right? So what happened, how the city had a little bit of extra like oomph on us was because people be like, yo, I'm from Brooklyn, I'm from Harlem, and we be like, word? I say I'm from Schenectady. You see what I'm saying? I gotta change that, right? So now it's starting to become a wave where it's cool to jack Upstate. You feel what I'm saying? But that came from a lot of hard work. That you have to step back from trying to be in the limelight, because being in the limelight, you're just gonna chase what's trending. You see what I'm saying? So that was the problem. Is like no one wanted to stop, build, and put people on. I wouldn't have been able to find like Drench Baby, right? How we wouldn't have been able, like we can't give artists an opportunity if we're not stepping back and allowing that to happen. Imagine me trying to put on an artist like that while I'm trying to be in the limelight. I'm gonna try to outperform somebody. I'm trying to, like, you feel what I'm saying? That's how it goes. Or that's the problem with Upstate. Someone will put on a platform and then they'll go ahead and try to outperform them, or they'll try to outshine them. So how are you putting somebody on?
But I feel like when I was younger, I was born 88. I don't know when you was born.
99.
99.
That's crazy. 88, 99.
I was born 88. So when I was younger, it was more or less that the city wouldn't even give Upstate a chance.
Amen. No, they won't. No.
They wouldn't even give us a chance and see what the talent was really like.
Yeah.
They would just go off your demeanor of how you look, how we dress. We dress a little bit different from Downstate New York, people from Downstate New York. So they would go off that, your image, and then say, you know what, he's not, we're not gonna.
Nah, he's da-da-da. They have, it's assumptions already. So that's why.
But people do that in general, though. I feel like people, our culture does that in general. Yeah,
and that's why I'm like, nah, you know what? I'm not even gonna try to like, because I've done shows out in Brooklyn and Harlem. I did shows in the city, and it was dope. I brought out, a lot of like my female hosts to go turn up and stuff. And what I ended up learning is that we don't have to conform to anything, bro. The more you're yourself, the more attention you have. The more they actually look at it like, oh, he's different. It's the same reason why they're looking, right? I didn't try to dress up like I'm from the city. I dressed like me. You know what I'm saying? And in that is so many people, yo, where you from? Right? And in that, it's how we make the opportunities. But sometimes, right, when we don't have enough groundedness into what we're doing, like I'm very confident, bro. Some people call me a narcissist because I believe in myself so much that even when the odds are stacked against me, I know I'm gonna do good. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So to the point where I might be in a different room, right? But I'm me. Right. And I think just Jay-Z having that culture now.
Jay-Z said a comment about that, about putting a suit on. About you could put a suit on anybody, but if they don't have the personality,
it's not gonna do nothing. They just a well-dressed bum, you know what I'm trying to say?
Like you, everything, but you gotta be able to.
Yeah. So I want to get into this too, because I want you guys to really talk about, the label, the LLC. So basically like explain how the label came about.
That story.
Yeah.
That story, how we came up with the label was about, I believe it was about a bulletproof vest and a weapon.
Wow.
And I know it sounds crazy, but that's how that story came about. And we were, it comes down to like felonies,
Yes,
certain things like that. So I was just trying to figure out
Speak up.
what was the way to figure out how to be able to possess certain things as far as business with a felon.
wow.
Yeah.
And that's how that came about. So
Yes.
I don't have any felonies.
I was a felon, and he didn't have no felony, but everyone thought he had a felony too.
Wow.
But he has a clean record.
So and I made sure I kept that. So that was the only way I was able to possess a firearm legally.
Yes.
For the business.
For the business. And then that's how we came up with as far as the label, because it wasn't that at first. Then we just thought that just kind of like went in there.
Yeah.
So then we was like, we just put our names together, and that'd be the business.
That's fine.
I'm not even gonna lie. We was
weird, but
That's fine. No, that's fire. Like that's how.
Catskill, we was a little wild, but a couple years, more than a couple years. About 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We were kind of wild. We might see some newspapers and stuff. If you guys Google our name, a lot of things will pop up about us. But we were how I remember us coming up with the name was us walking down Main Street in Catskill, and an older guy named Corey.
You're right.
Corey saying,
right.
yo, Scoompville, y'all should make the name Scoompville. That's a dope name. And we said, you know what? You know what?
That's how that came about.
But we did have, before that, we had the,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow, that's fire though.
And then we just took that name and we ran with it. We just made it into something.
Yeah, come on, you got the merch on right now.
We got the merch coming out soon. Yeah. Our website will let everybody know when the website.
But sometimes the most organic stuff, like even like hearing how the story, but like hearing the behind the scenes and hearing the moment that is like, oh, we should do that. Seeing it collide and seeing you guys build, like organic is how you grow in this, right? A lot of people try to fake it. So like even to the point where that's a real moment that really happened, that shaped it, and you guys already had a brotherhood, right? So when you mix organic, brotherhood, and real opportunity, that's when greatness arrives, right?
Yeah.
So what's been some like highs and lows in creating the label? You know what I'm trying to say?
Financials,
trouble, the police,
trying to do what you got to do to get there, to maintain,
and childish people in your camp, people that's around your circle.
Amen.
Because everyone can't go. Shout out to Benny the Butcher. Everyone can't go, and he's right about that.
Yeah, and I can relate to that, man. It's a lot of times, like, even to get to the point where I'm at now in the brand, it's like I've gone through multiple teams. Like, I've had multiple teams, and we've had great success, and we've had great lows. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like maturity in a business is knowing that not everything is going to work how you expect, but it's those that ride with you through the ups and the downs that are supposed to be there, and not everyone is. Right. So sometimes people will get around you, ride the highs, but when it starts getting low, they use it for opportunity, clout, or a moment to shit on you in a sense. You feel what I'm saying? I've been through that, bro. That's business. You know what I'm saying? Like if business was a smooth ride, everyone would be doing it. That's why only the few can.
Yeah. The thing about that part of it, when you be yourself though, and you yourself, people could take whatever information they want about you. They could do whatever they want about you, and the truth will still be that. Yeah. As long as you yourself.
And that's exactly, yo, bro, I've gone
like really for people that's really out there trying to make things with you're not there yet. Yeah. You're not there yet.
Yeah. I mean, I've had people try to, demoralize my character. I've had people try to spread rumors and all that. And if you don't keep grinding, we live in a reality where the narrative becomes the truth, even though the truth can't become the narrative. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, if I allowed people who's like trying to bring me down or try to tear me, or them thinking that, oh, this kid might be a certain way, like nobody knows you. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, you can look a certain way, but your body could be different. You feel what I'm saying? So people will try to tear you down off of what they see or what they hear. But if you stay true to yourself and you continue to move, that's all. What they say is like all attention is good attention if you know how to shape it. You feel what I'm saying? All publicity is good publicity. That doesn't mean you want a bunch of shit just on your name. That means like regardless, there's gonna be something attached to your name, but it's what you do when you walk in that room and how you speak. You feel what I'm saying? Somebody might say, this person's X, Y, and Z. I walk in the room, I shake their hand, and I don't even walk like I've even heard that. They're gonna listen to the person who said something about me, be like, damn, well, I met him and
Exactly.
That's not true at all. You feel me? So that's I had to learn that too, though. Right. That's just because this is a very much like a character demoralizing industry where somebody literally will try to taint you. I've had people say, "Oh, yo, this person talked about this person talked about me" to one of their mans who's now working with me. They get around me and they never heard me talk bad about nobody because I don't care about what they're doing. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So like, wait, hold on, that don't make sense. You feel me? So we can only control what we can control. You feel what I'm saying? And that's part of the business. So yeah, no, I want to also get into like, what's the reason? All right, so I know that we're talking about like the organic moment that happened, but what made you guys say, nah, we really do need to start this label? Because somebody could say, oh, that's a fire name. Someone could say, oh, you should do this. But what made y'all really start pushing to be like, nah, you know what? We got to build the label. We got to get the talent out there. We got to really start pushing for the world to see.
Nobody was really doing it like that.
Wow.
There.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, we like to do it, and we were doing other things that I'm not going to say I'm proud of, but we put 2 and 2 together.
Wow.
Be the first ones to do what we're already doing.
Yeah, and take that moment and build something with it. Wow.
Other people and other artists and stuff.
Yeah, we wanted to build something for the youth, you know?
Wow.
Because the Boys and the Girls Club in Catskill, it closed. So that was where...
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the heart. That's where people remember going to have something to do in Catskill when there's nothing really to do, but get in trouble. So,
and if you take that away, at the end of the day, it's only gonna cause for more trouble. So I like that. I like how y'all made something out of a situation that from nothing to something. You know what I'm trying to say?
Too much to do out there.
Yeah.
So you know,
like all my friends been in jail is from. It being such a small town, it being nothing to do.
So if you don't got nothing to do, you're bound to run into
Amen
and get into things that because there's nothing to do, and ultimately you go down a road where
where it leads to nothing.
It's devious.
Nothing gives you a road that leads you to nothing. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Got to stay busy.
Go do anything like down there to have fun. Like we would have to come up here.
Like, I'm going to tell you what we did when we was kids to have fun in Catskill. I'm going to tell you what we did in Catskill. We would, on Halloween, throw pumpkins at cars, pop people's cars, damage them, throw at windows, damage stuff, damage property. Our parents end up having to pay a big amount of restitution.
Yeah.
And we with a whole bunch of people just playing with fire.
It's crazy. I can relate to that. I can relate because when I was younger, I was doing dumb, just throwing eggs at cars. I was on the baseball team, so me and my baseball friends would see who could like throw the farthest, and we try to hit something. So, but and I think that brings us back to when you have nothing to do, you're gonna find something to do, right? And like you said, nothing is like the devil's playground, where now you just have all room of opportunity and wild thoughts. And when we're younger compared to when we mature, we're more seasoned now. We can come to think about, but when we young and we just trying to have fun, we trying to show off and go females around and
that's why we had to relocate and remove ourselves because people wanted to stay people wanted to stay in that situation, still doing the same thing.
Yeah,
you gotta grow.
Yeah, and do you think so? Now, do you think it's important for artists to relocate from where they're originally from to grow? Like, do you think that's needed
where they're from?
Yeah,
I think that more than 50% of artists have to leave.
Yes,
where they're from to become famous.
No, I agree
because you can only do so much.
Yeah, And people like imagine Beyonce. You see Beyonce walking every day down the street, right? She's not really like what makes Beyonce is like you got to pay a ticket to see her at a stage. She's not seen like that, right? But if she was just walking down the road, if we seen her in the mall, we're around the mall. Yeah. If we just seen her walking in the mall every day, is Beyonce really Beyonce at that point? So I do see what you mean with that.
Right. If you know her, if you know her, then it's just like, oh, that's just Beyonce.
That's there.
See him,
And I think it's weird. I think it's weird that like. People get around you.
Algorithm.
Yeah, people get around you, right? And someone might have direct access to someone who's super lit or super has all the potential, but just because they're around you, they don't even look at you like you lit. So that's why I sometimes like even when building in Upstate, I've ran into that trouble too, where people try to not act like I am who I am, and not to even put it in a prideful way. But when you build something, you got to understand that you're really building something. But some people will try to get around that and try to demoralize you or bring you down just so they could get that opportunity and bring you down to where they're at, right? So I do agree to say, like, even in my point, I haven't really left Schenectady, right? So there's going to be a time where, and that's why I'm building this now, because there's going to be a time where this is up and running, where I don't have to be doing everything. Like we said, like the Adam 22, the no jumper in a sense. Where I have people doing the interviews. I have people doing
what this is.
For sure.
I mean, this is probably better than Adam 22 and No Jumper. I'm not even gonna lie. Shout out to Adam 22 and No Jumper. This is probably better we have more things to do in here.
Yeah, and we're not going to make anybody go against their character to be on our platform. Like, I think that's why I made my own platform as well. When I was younger, I was always watching like Illuminati videos. I was always watching like conspiracy theories, but that ended up being true. And I realized that to get into certain rooms, you have to confide into certain things that I wasn't cool with. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm like, all right, instead of me going and trying to like be something I'm not, I'm going to make my own, and I'm going to make what I deem valid to be valid, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to ask you to do something that you're not comfortable with. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to find someone, if I need that done, who is comfortable with it. I'm not going to make somebody who's not that be that. You feel what I'm saying? And I think that's what we see a lot of industries kind of do, is like they try to take somebody, or like they'll take a kid who's like a 16-year-old kid who got motion. He might make a song that's like some drill song or whatever the case is, but you meet him, he's just a kid, right? So what they're going to do is like say, all right, they're going to put protection around him, and then they're going to be able to just super amp him up, yo, talk about this.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Right. And then they'll push that because they might have a certain look or a sound. Me, at the end of the day, I'm speaking positivity. I can't change what you do, right? I can only plant the seed, right? And whatever you choose to do with that, if that's what you want in front of the camera, I'm this place that you could bring it to. Right. But I'm never going to try to demoralize someone's character and make them something they're not. I think that's what we see a lot in the industry. And like, that's kind of where I started to even build my own. And I kind of see that with you guys. Like, I don't see you guys pushing a false narrative. I see you guys doing organic.
I'm not even going to lie. When I first met you, great business from the start. So
yeah,
you're good with business. He's good with business.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. And but like to each his own, man. You guys are definitely good too. It was definitely a good conversation. I've seen a full team, and I've seen people who wanted it. You know what I'm saying? I'm only working with people who want it, not no people who are on some half-ass energy or who are just like talk. You know what I'm saying? I like to meet with people who walk. That's why I got the building too, because people are walking right through the door trying to work instead of me taking a phone call, taking this people bullshit. And like, from the difference from when I had a space until when I didn't, I was always doing the same thing, but now I get to connect with more aligned energies, right? And so like, from label to content creation studio, there's a reason why we're supposed to be here. You feel what I'm saying? And even on this interview. So like, let's kind of get into a moment like that. Like, what made you guys realize, like down the journey, you started the label had its ups and downs, but what made you know I'm supposed to be doing this?
When you try to stop doing something and you keep going back to it.
Yes. Amen.
And then everything felt right.
It felt right.
Yeah.
And when you do something at your brokest moment, we was in the hotel when we first started. Me and him, it's like my brother.
Wow.
We had a laptop, putting our face to the laptop like this, doing it. Nobody would work with us in Catskill. Wow. Nobody would work with us.
Wow.
No type of networking.
No, we didn't know nobody. I don't know if people were just scared to work with us because we look how we look, but nobody wanted to work with us.
Wow.
So we did it from a laptop in a hotel from the beginning.
And that speaks on like collaboration in business, right? Sometimes all it takes is one person to see like your goals, see your aspirations for it to matter. So it sounds like y'all found that with each other early to be able to get to a spot where you can't just be working off a laptop in that sense. Because if you guys aren't working together, we start fighting demons in our head. You know what I'm saying? Right. So if I was doing anything alone, like even with the space, I had to build a team again too, because I was getting in my head. For me, I can't run everything. Imagine trying to run everything, bro. We're gonna have an early life. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna live long, and it's supposed to be longevity. It's supposed to be leaving an impact, right? So it's like somebody will try to go get all the treasure. They finally find the treasure, but they got a small boat. How are you gonna bring it back home? You feel what I'm saying? So you have to find like-minded people that you can trust. That you can, when we do get to this treasure, we can all bring it back home and know everything's gonna be there.
He told me that. He told me how to listen to the youth, listen to people, because I was so like from being incarcerated, I was so stuck on I don't trust nobody. I don't trust nothing with nobody. I'm not just only with my own mental. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Listening to him, I see him from watching him with more success. This guy got a Mercedes Benz. He got his own place. He's living good. And out there, he's living real good. Yeah. Got his teeth fixed, like whatever.
Yes, sir.
But whatever. He showed me more than, when somebody could tell you something, when somebody shows you.
Amen.
It's like, all right, I gotta listen. Maybe I should take advice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I agree. Like, when it comes to leading by example, sometimes I've tried to, even early into it, I've tried to tell people like advice that even I needed to take, right? Mm-hmm. But that's the big moment. Like, if you still need to take the advice that you're trying to preach, people aren't going to listen, right? Yo, if it was, go ahead.
You see a chain on your neck?
No.
You see a chain on my neck?
No.
You see a chain on his neck?
No, but minimal.
We've been through that.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Materialistic it is, but at the end of the day, the chain, all that means nothing. Look at J. Cole. Shout out to J. Cole.
Yeah, amen.
Right?
And speaking of shout outs too, like I want to
real talent talks.
Yeah.
Bullshit walks.
Bullshit walks. Amen. And so I want us to go into like, you know, is there anybody like as like that you want to give shout outs to, as far as like I see a little list here of like Upstate and Downstate, and like, you know, see like, you know, anybody out here that's doing their thing that you like, you know, the label would want to work with maybe too.
Baby Drench. I'm gonna push Baby Drench because he's the one that's dedicated, not scared to do interviews.
Yes.
And he's not scared to go places and do shows. Shout out to Baby Drench.
Yeah, Baby Drench, he came and performed at the Voice of Upstate. Super dope performance. I liked how even he had his own track mix for the performance in a sense. Like rather than having to switch through the songs, he was able to just, and it was like a show. He put on a show, like, you know what I'm saying? And I know it comes from work ethic and it comes from having a good team around you. So it speaks onto what everything that's going on. But yeah, like
Thanks
even with the mix.
He hooked the whole team and everything up. Thanks to Jibo.
Wow.
Everything was, everybody, Baby Drench was safe that night. He got home, he got to the show safe and got back safe and everything. Thank you too for everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we're going to make sure anybody who's working in our space, like we know we work with different communities, different backgrounds.
Because my main thing is to keep the artist safe.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And it was dope too. That night we were able to even have like a 15-year-old artist come and perform.
Oh yeah, that was.
And I, so usually at my stuff, I've never was able to do that because I was always working with a brand or a venue. I would have to like sublease and sub-book out venues, and they'd be super strict because obviously they're trying to promote liquor more than the actual show. They're trying to, because that's what the money, and the parties and stuff, that's where the money's at. Like you can have 100 people buy a $10 ticket, that's $1,000. If I got 100 people buying a $12 drink and they come back for $3,000-$4,000, I mean, we're looking at $56,000 to $6,000. So people often aren't pushing culture, they're pushing monetizing value. So I could never have the youth in a space, right? So now that I own this space, I'm able to create the demographic and the narrative. Right. So talking about the Boys and Girls Club, it was super dope. That night, I actually got a comment from a mother, or it might have been an aunt. It was one of the two, but they were together. That was like, yo, this is like a Boys and Girls Club vibe, but from artists, right? So like even like I keep hearing the Boys and Girls Club, and it makes me like want to go to work with more of the youth. It makes me want to realize that, you know, I could try to go with my peers, but at the end of the day, I can help shape the youth, right? And the youth is willing to listen, right? I know a lot of people who come in here, they'll always remember it, right? Especially the youth, because they've never had these opportunities. Us, we might have seen this before. We might have said, and if not, then that's super dope too. We'll still leave that impact. But the youth 100% are the future, right? We are the ones that are supposed to shape that for them. So kind of like always hearing about the Boys and Girls Club, and like that specific comment from that aunt or mother was like something that was big that made me realize like, wow, like this is how God's gonna help.
What my son do? Where you at, Boys and Girls Club?
Wow.
Where you at playing basketball? Because that's all he does, play basketball.
Yes.
And what you doing, Boys and Girls Club?
I feel like the youth is more into music now though too. Yeah. Than when I was younger.
Oh yeah. Like even from when I was younger. Yeah.
More people are turning. More younger artists are getting rich with music at an early age.
Because there's more stuff like all right, so I know y'all can relate to this, but probably even more to when I was, because there's still more opportunities when I was like a child to do music. But I remember when my dad was rapping, right? Bro, he would have to do one takes. Right. You know what I'm saying? He would have to go into software that went into software that went into software. He was on an old school computer that was slow. Yeah, oh yeah. So then when I started making music, there was programs like Audacity where you don't have to really know too much. So you could at least do Audacity, right? Yeah. And so me growing up to having Audacity, I was able to record myself. But now kids got like BandLab.
To record on? Mixcraft.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? But so now
started on stuff like that.
Yeah, so compare that to now where it's like there wasn't many plugins, it was like slight effects or anything. You had to do little stuff outside of the mic. So now they got something called BandLab where literally off your phone you got mad presets. You got mad I can plug a mic like this into my phone, turn it, and it's mixed right there.
Yeah. His nephew, Baby Trench, he let me hear a song on his BandLab. Yeah. That's what made me say, you know what? I'm gonna work with you, man.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm definitely gonna work with you.
So many more opportunities to get quality sound that you don't have to be industry ready as far as production to still get an industry sound. Like that's the difference now. So like I'm sure if we were all fucking 10 to 12, 14, 15 with all these things at our disposal, right? We would be even like it'd be a whole different story.
can go back.
But you know what it was? It was the
But we
older
had
people.
YouTube and everything. I tell my kids all the time, you guys got everything you need.
Yeah,
If you guys don't want to go to school, then that's cool. But you got to become famous.
You gotta become famous. You're gonna do that. Yeah, it's too many resources. It's too many opportunities. But they also say creativity dies when you have too many resources. I just had an interview too with an artist. He goes by Shit by Leak, and he's like, basically, like when you have, all right, so an artist is really an artist when he can make something out of not having enough, right? So like even the first painter didn't have like purples. What they do, they had to take red and blue, put it together, and they realized it made purple, right? And that's what made it so fire, right? How would you do that? So I feel like now with all these opportunities, we have like all these resources, but now the kids, either some miss it or some don't, but the ones who miss it are looking at as like not seeing that it wasn't like this back in the day, right? So they think it's too easy. Sometimes something could be too easy. Where it's like, damn, do I even want to do this? Now you feel like you could do 100 different things.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of the point of technology too, is to kind of dumb us down. Like right now, this right here is $1 million billion industry right here. It's times I don't do nothing but sit on my phone and do my promotion, do my da-da-da, and I'll make my day's wage, right? I haven't worked a job in 6 years because of this phone, but some people have to work a job because of this phone. You hear what I'm saying? Because they just go home, they'll watch TV, they'll waste 8 hours of brain rot content. So it's like life is what you make it, and there's so many opportunities now. You really see who's a creative and who's a watcher. And you know what I'm trying to say?
I see a lot of people that's that I grew up with, the ones, some of them that rap, you know, that came from Catskill. They I see a lot of their some of their videos, and I see like the AI thing. A lot of people, when you're my age, you don't want to sit around. Like I mean, me and Scoop, we get out there and we do a regular music video, but I see that they take advantage of the AI tool, which
that's
is
another thing now.
It's very brilliant. And you know, all you gotta do is put your face in the camera, and it makes a whole video for you. That's really fire.
Shit, say someone goes to an injury, they can't go out and do something. You're not out the game. You could go AI.
Way doing it with really being out there in the scene. That I think it's just better. You know,
I think there's pros and cons to both. Like we just said, all these resources create creativity to die. Right, so somebody might just put a prompt into AI, right? And this is a good and bad thing. So you can put a prompt into AI, tell it to do something, and it'll do it. But now you've never learned how to do it. Now, I think AI, once it's used as a tool, is when it's really good. When you have the real experience, like I said, we go out and do these videos, right? You know what it is to record a shoot, be in a shoot, whatever the case, because you've seen it, you've been part of that process. So now when you use AI to enhance that process, that's when AI is a tool. Now, I think another reason why they have AI, because AI has been around since like the 1980s. You know what I'm saying? They just didn't put it out there, right? There's a reason why they didn't put it out there. You know what I'm saying? So they can control us. There'd been a whole bunch of money, but also at the time there was money because they were using it against us, right? You know what I'm trying to say? They use it for propaganda.
So now we'll give it out, thinking that it's our beneficial factor.
And whole time they found out a way to manipulate it to say when you use AI,
it's never to help you out.
It's always to use you.
Great.
Right.
And they're taking our analytics from us using the AI. They're able to put it and distort it, and now they know how to program it to where an AI can answer how they need to answer for us to be in submission, right? Even with the Bible, bro, I was watching a video about AI, and like basically like we live, and this is literally the devil's playground. The world is the devil's playground. No matter what God we believe in, right? I'm a Christian, so I'll use it from like the King James, the KJV version, King James version of the Bible. But at the end of the day, in any religion that you believe in, right, we understand that this is just the playground to the afterlife. We all have one thing in common, is that we die.
Because your soul never dies.
Exactly, right? Exactly, right? So now if they have that, right, if they can control how you feel or like what your reaction is to all of this devilish ways, right, they now control what happens to you after you die, right? So I think like all these opportunities were given to us so that way we can have a quote unquote easy life here, but now it just gets harder. It's spiritual warfare, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think like it all plays into one, but AI is kind of dumbing down the consciousness, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like this guy explained it to me. It's like you see how we would do the math problems. The math problem to get an answer for a problem. 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah.
Right. We do 1 + 1 is 2.
Yes.
We write it out. But if we use a calculator or a phone, there's no need to see that 1 + 1. So now that's where you go back and look at that part. That's where you need that part. Yeah. That part that's missing is what's most important.
Yeah, because if you don't know how to do it, and you just always, like you say, it's like directions, right? If I put in the GPS all the time how to get to point A to point B, I might see it, I might drive through it every day, but I've never made a wrong turn, so I can't. I never looked at the exit to be like, I'm literally and I've gone through this, me personally, where I didn't have my phone. I'm trying to go. Right. I'm like, damn, how do I get there? That's something that kind of made me see that too. Is like some things that are just put right in front of us are actually a hindrance when it's not in front of us. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a time, and I really do believe this, even though I'm a multimedia content creation studio, I do a lot of work on social media. I 100% know there's a time they're going to pull the plug on social media and electricity, right? And we're going to it's going to be a pull plug. There's going to be. And I think that's what people are waiting for, right?
As far as our intelligence would be much higher.
Yeah.
And we won't need it.
Yeah, for like the next couple of years, this year, next year, we're going to see a 360-degree change.
Yeah.
The world's not going to end.
Yeah.
But it's going to end as we know it.
Yeah, bro, they got this thing that Elon Musk and them are trying to, the mark of the beast. Mm-hmm. It's going to be like a chip. They're trying to put chips into it. Basically, what it's going to do is it's going to allow people to, like, see that, like, when you think of something, it's not just your thoughts now. You can look into, like, the internet. And, like, you can sit here and it's like a...
Transhumanism.
Oh.
We're gonna talk about Mars. We're gonna save that because we're gonna talk about that for the next episode.
Yeah, but listen, man. If you guys, we're gonna wrap this up right now because we're having some great conversation. Yeah. But if there's one thing you could say to the world that's watching right now, what would it be?
Just stay safe, but stay dangerous, and
yes, sir.
And keep doing what you got to do for yourself.
I would say, don't be a follower. Always be a leader.
Yes.
And watch as well as pray.
Yes. And man, listen, we appreciate you guys watching. There'll definitely be a part 2 to this. This was a dope conversation. MBB World out.
Cool. That ended cool. See, you see how you did it?
That was perfect.
You didn't